Hello everyone and welcome back to my kitchen. Today you're in for a treat because today we're going to prepare tongue tacos. I've tried many types of tacos and this one is by far one of my favorites. It doesn't sound very appetizing, but it truly is delicious. With the help of my husband and my kitchen assistant, we're going to show you a step-by-step on how to prepare these delicious tacos in the InstaPot. First, we're going to fill a large bowl with enough water to where both tongues are completely submerged in the water. To the water, we're going to add half a cup of vinegar and 1 tablespoon of salt. This is going to help to disinfect the tongue. Sometimes the tongues can be hard to find, but I found one of them at Carnitas Market, and the second one I found at Walmart. I've also seen them at Sam's Club, and you can definitely find them at any grocery store that caters to Mexican food. Before we place the tongues in the water, we're going to give them a good rinse. I know it doesn't look very appetizing right now, but when we're done cooking the tongue, it's going to taste absolutely delicious. The first time I tried them, I was tricked into trying them. My husband didn't tell me what it was until after the fact. After I tried them, they've been one of my favorite tacos, and my teenagers go crazy for them as well. The tongues are usually fairly clean. All we do is rinse them. We don't do a whole lot of trimming, but we do trim off some of this gooey stuff around the tongue. But that is completely up to you. Once it's fully cooked, we're going to peel off the outer part of the tongue, and we're only going to eat the inner part of the tongue. Once they're both trimmed and rinsed, we're going to place them in the water with the vinegar and the salt, and we're going to let them soak for about 20 to 30 minutes. This step is completely optional, but I like to do it to make sure the tongue is fully disinfected before we begin to cook it. For seasonings, we're going to need 3 whole cloves, 1 tablespoon of salt, 2 bay leaves, and 2 large chile guajillos. After rinsing the chile guajillos, remove the stems and remove the seeds from each one. The chile guajillos are completely optional. I like to add them because it adds more flavor to the broth, which in return adds more flavor to the tongue. We're also going to need 1 large white onion. The onion we're going to trim off both ends. We're going to trim off the first layer of the onion, then we're going to cut it in half. And for the last ingredient, an entire head of garlic. Using our hands, we're going to remove as much husk as we can from the garlic. Then using a small paring knife, we're going to trim off the bottom portion of the garlic. Once it's nice and clean, we're going to flip it over and we're going to trim the top portion of the garlic. Remove any excess husk and set it aside. Now that we have everything ready, we can begin to prepare the tongue. But before we place everything into the InstaPot, we're going to drain out the water and we're going to give the tongue another good rinse. If you don't have an InstaPot, you can also prepare this on the stovetop. Preparing it on the stovetop can take anywhere from 2.5 to 3 hours. Preparing it in the InstaPot is only going to take 1 hour. We're going to start by placing the tongues in the InstaPot first. Adding the tongues first is going to determine how much water to add. You don't want to overfill the pot because then it will take longer to cook. I ended up using 6 cups of water, but that can differ depending on the size of your tongues. Now we're going to add the rest of the ingredients, the entire head of garlic, the 1 onion cut in half, the cloves, the 2 bay leaves, salt, and the 2 guajillo peppers. Once we have all the ingredients in there, we're going to close it up. We're going to set the InstaPot to manual, and we're going to set the timer to 60 minutes. The InstaPot is going to switch to on, and it's going to take about 12 to 15 minutes before the countdown begins. Once the InstaPot builds enough pressure, the timer will begin. And while we wait for the tongue to cook, we're going to use our time to prepare a delicious salsa to go with our tacos. You can find the full recipe for the salsa that I'm making in the description of this video or in the right upper corner of this video. And for the toppings, we're going to go with the traditional toppings, cilantro and white onion. Or you can use red onion to add that extra pizzazz and color to your tacos. Once the timer is done on the InstaPot, you can let it sit for about 20 to 30 minutes and it will naturally release the pressure. Or if you want to have these tacos right away and can't wait any longer, move the taco to release the pressure before removing the lid. Remove the tongue from the InstaPot and place it on a large cutting board. The broth remaining in the pot, once it cools down, you can strain it and use it for other recipes, or you can discard of it. This tongue looks perfectly cooked. The InstaPot did a great job at cooking the tongue. Now we're just going to peel the outer layer of the tongue, and as you can see, it's coming off with very little effort. This part you don't want to eat, so you definitely want to peel it off before you begin to chop up the tongue. Once we have the layer removed, we can begin to chop up the meat. and as you can see, it's super tender and juicy. My mouth is watering already. I can't wait to try these tacos. If you're a little hesitant about trying these tacos, I suggest you go to a taqueria and ask for tongue tacos first. Try them, and if you like them, you can prepare them at home. But I know that once you try these tacos, you are going to fall in love with them, and they're going to become one of your favorite, just like ours. As we're done chopping the meat, we place it into a pan. This way it's easier to heat up if we need to heat it up. And now to prepare the tacos. We're going to enjoy these delicious tacos on blue corn tortillas, and we're going to top it off with cilantro and the onion. And don't forget to drizzle with a little bit of lemon juice to bring out the flavor of these delicious tacos. And top it off with your favorite salsa. In this case, we're going to enjoy it with the spicy red salsa that we prepared earlier. And now for my favorite part, the taste test. My husband and my kids have been dying to try these tacos, and so have I. If you enjoyed this video, leave me a little heart. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in our next video with a different recipe.